Okay. So, question, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe in the Holy Trinity? Or what is your what is
What's my
your
take on it?
what's your belief in the Holy Trinity? Yeah.
Now, what life is about is coming here and flowing as life takes you.
Yeah.
Believing or not believing does not change anything about life.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
doesn't. It doesn't
right.
help.
Right.
It doesn't change anything. But rather, it only gives you either problem or more problems.
Mm-hmm. What believe?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When you were born, there was no belief. You didn't believe in anything.
Mm-hmm.
You had to grow up to a point and they said, believe this, and you took it and you held it as yours. But Jesus said the only way you can see the kingdom is when you be like these little children that does not have anything that they want to bother themselves with. They are perfect not because of what they do or what they can do or what they can achieve, but it's in nature.
Mm-hmm.
The moment we start to try and work towards the perfection, we become imperfect. So there is no point believing whether there is the Holy Trinity. It's like saying whether you believe whether there's Pluto or no does not change the fact whether Pluto exists or not. It only adds another level of knowledge to you that might be wrong or right.
Mm-hmm.
But before Adam ate of the fruit, there was no wrong or right. There was no point to believe in anything or not. He was living and it was very much all right. But when he took of the same tree that gives the knowledge of good and evil, it's the same. It's the one of good or evil that made him anything.
You know what? You know what? I asked the question
Yeah.
because we are speaking on Jesus right now, God.
Hmm.
I want to understand who you think Jesus is. That's why I asked the question. Who do you believe him to be?
All right.
Yeah.
Now, first question.
Is he a man? Do you believe he's a man? He's just a regular man who came on earth
Mm-hmm.
and then lived such a great life.
Mm-hmm.
People named the whole religion after him
Okay.
through the eyes of God.
Mm-hmm.
Or he is God in man form sent here. Like
All right.
mhm.
In that same question, I would ask you a simple question. Who do you think you are as a person?
Me.
Yeah. Do you think you? I'm talking about you that you should know you. Talk more of someone is who we were not there. I'm giving you like right now. Who do you think you are? Do you think you are just a normal person who came to live and die, or do you think you are God in His full form?
If whether you believe in God or not, there's a reason why we're here.
Okay.
And then if you take anything, for example, if you take a human being making a
Now,
robot, the
now,
robot is the image of the person. So we are definitely image of whoever brought us here, whether it's God or not, if you believe in God or not.
okay.
We're all
Now,
images of him.
that's why I asked if do you think now, because if we want to think about anything, it's something that is not a fact in our hands right now.
Yeah.
I don't have to think that I'm breathing air. I'm breathing. I
Yeah.
don't have to think it. It's what's happening now. So for you that is alive here and now,
Mhm.
do you see that you are God in full seated here, or do you feel that you are just a man that maybe when you die people will make up things after?
But I think we are.
Do you have to think, or with what you are seeing now?
It's a thought. It's not.
Okay.
There's no way I can be sure. At the end
Okay.
of the day, it's just belief.
Okay.
I can't be. It's not fact.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know until we die, and then wherever we go, we go.
Mm-hmm.
But then I believe, as I said, we are here in the image of whatever created this universe,
Yeah.
and I don't think we just came here
Mm-hmm.
to live. There's a purpose for it,
Mm-hmm.
and the purpose of us being here is probably, as I said, I can't be sure of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's uh, for example, as I said, if you're making a robot as a
Mm-hmm.
human being, you're making a robot.
Mm-hmm.
You want the robot to behave in a certain way,
Yeah.
the way that you've programmed it to be.
Mm-hmm.
The robot might eventually get there and might not.
Mm-hmm.
So the same as humans, I believe we are eventually living our purpose, and until we find out what it is,
Okay.
that's what life is.
Okay. Now it's a very interesting and fascinating
Mhm.
answer you just gave to me.
Yeah,
But when we look at it, when we talk about a robot
yeah,
being made, it's because we are thinking from man's perspective that something has to make another thing.
yeah.
You see, and so when we ask the same question as kids, who made that thing that is making the other things? We dare not think that something else made it. Hello?
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
You dare not think that God, which is the idea, was made by any other thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we tend to be logical, but we want to be logical only to an extent. Now, when we say that there is a God who made us, yeah, and we take the question backwards.
Yeah.
So who made the God who made us? We have no answer for that. Or is there an answer you have to give me?
I don't have an answer.
All right. So
It's like the egg and the chicken. Who was here first?
So
You never know.
it's a simple thing that there's no argument that there is God.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it depends on how we see it. Is it a person? Is it the force of nature? Is it who is he?
Wait, okay, you answer the question. We move from Jesus, now we're on God. What is your idea? I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you what I think.
No, yeah.
It could be an alien.
It could be an
It could be an alien.
See why you are mentioning all of that?
Yeah.
Because it's the only things you can think of are
Yeah.
the knowledge that you've acquired over time.
Exactly.
There's nothing fresh that can come out of knowledge. Knowledge is past. So it's something that, oh, you've seen an alien before in movies, you've seen robots. So all of these illustrations are from things that you know mentally.
Yeah.
But when we go beneath the knowledge of your heart beating right now as you're seated, you're not consciously making it beat. But there is a life source in your system, yeah, that you say, my life. Yeah? But we don't know which part of you that life is. Because if it's in your hand, if it cuts away, then your life goes with it. But yeah, they can do hand transplant and you remain you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, they could do a heart transplant and give you another person's heart.
Yeah.
But you remain you. So your life is not in any of those parts. Where then is the life?
You're talking of the soul or the consciousness. That's how I see it.
Problem is, we always have one logical explanation to the other. Now, the soul,
everything has to.
that's mankind. That's the problem of mankind. We have to logically explain everything. Whereas, as the child that does not really know of any of these things, that does not need to know, he is in pure bliss and peace. But the idea that we have would always make us have arguments and problems with another person. Another person who does not believe that we have a soul. Even if you have a soul, does your argument change it, whether it's to be true or not? It doesn't. So the thing is, we just want to say we know. That's humanity. So the next person who says, no, it's not a soul, it's Brahmana, or I'm talking about the Buddha, the Buddhist, all of that kind of thing. You say, no, it's a soul. This one says it's a this and it's a that. Fact is fact. When you see a soul, you know it's a soul. So, but what we are saying, I just asked now, is where is the life in your body? You said it's the soul. So where is the soul? I'm not saying it's there or it's not there. But when we want to look at these things logically, yeah, you would only be able to explain to a point where you cannot explain anymore.
That is true.
You would only be able to search for information to the point where there's no information in existence on that matter. It's as simple as looking for who God is. It's the same way we say there's a reason why we are here. We'll find the reason. Yeah, because mankind cannot exist without purpose. We feel like we have to have something we are doing here. We forget that when you look at a tree is there, not thinking whether it has a purpose to bring out carbon dioxide or oxygen, and you breathe. It has no clue about that. But it's just there in its existence, and it's being in bliss.
Maybe the tree has a mind. We don't know. Maybe all the roots
you never know. But only humanity has the right to say that we have a soul. Animals don't have a soul. Trees don't have a soul. But you never know. But we look for a way to make ourselves superior to everything. So we want to make ourselves feel very special. So why don't we imagine that maybe God is in the structure of an eagle or anything? But we want it to be the structure of a man. And we say, he said, let's make man in our own image and in our own likeness. Yeah? When they say that person is but the image of you, it can be a mentality thing.
When I say we are made in the image of God, I don't mean we look.
I'm not talking about you.
Yeah, no,
I'm talking about people as a whole.
Explain what I was saying. It's not like physical looks. It's more about like what's however he wanted to create us.
So how are we sure?
Yeah, that's why I said I'm not sure of it, and I said God could be an alien.
That's why I like that. Thing makes me laugh whenever I say that.
If
But you see, that is why, yeah, they know that if you look deeply into most of these things,
yeah.
you get to the point where God wants you to get to, or where life wants you to get to, which is that point where you feel like, I don't think there's any point trying to look for any of these answers. You get to the point where you stay still and know that He is God, according to what David was told. Now you give up on every trying to know, of every thinking that you have to know just so you say you know. I'm not sure you get what I mean.
I get what.
So our point is trying to be like, okay, I know what it is, but nobody knows. Because when they sit down for real and look deeply into any of these things, even just as the Bible, there are lots of contradictions in there. If you look deeply, you would see. Because it's not like one word that was put together by just God.
I have
Like
a
this.
question, yeah.
Yeah. People brought things up, and all of these things, they brought all of them into one pack. And now this one had a life of his, and another person has a life. You say this one is contradictory to that one. They are not trying to say the same thing. This one had his life, and his life was different from that of this one. But they are all put in one book. I'm sure you get what I mean. So we feel like the scriptures is contradictory. So why would this one say here this thing here and that one say something different there? But people sat down and brought these things together to send a particular message that they want to be sent.